Despite the wave of COVID-19 news surging through the airwaves and changing how many of us navigate our daily lives, still, many things continue. Our economy is impacted, but moves along nonetheless. Some people still go to their jobs, while others have relocated the 9 to 5 to their home spaces, and thousands of students are still preparing for the primary exit profile tests. Hi, I'm Theodore Henry. Welcome to Jamaica Magazine, where we are still in the business of giving you important information you need to navigate all life's challenges. Let's get to it.
Government has implemented a nightly curfew island-wide as a means of containing the spread of COVID-19. The duration of the curfew is for a period of 7 days, from April 1 to April 8. Movement is restricted between the hours of 8 p.m. and 6 a.m.
There will be restriction on public transportation and all movement except for medical staff, security forces, essential services, and special provisions will be made for other critical industries. We ask everyone to make the necessary arrangements in their daily affairs to ensure that they can be off the road. Person saying that we have imposed stay-at-home orders from 8 p.m. on the 1st until 6 a.m. on the 8th. That means when you go in at 8 p.m., you don't come back out until 6 a.m. on the 8th. That's not the case. Each person shall remain indoors during the hours of 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. each day.
I know a lot of you are already doing this pre-COVID-19, but for those of us who are new to the work from home mandate, it's probably taking some getting used to. You're not in office, but there are still deadlines to meet and projects to complete. This doesn't have to be a daunting process though. Here are a few tips to help you navigate your new normal, at least for a while.
There are many among us that have long mastered the concept of working from home. But for the majority, businesses and individuals alike, it's a new foreign concept. In that mix are persons whose means of earning simply does not translate to a homework environment, or so it may seem. Let's explore some options. First, if you are socially engaging and have a passion for anything, consider creating content for online. YouTube is a great platform for this. To get started, all you need is a device that can record video. A phone with a decent camera would suffice, and a subject that you're knowledgeable and passionate about. Create your own YouTube page and begin to upload. Over time, as you build an audience, you can begin to earn from ads placed on YouTube, as well as sponsorships that come directly to you. For those whose places of employment have directed them to take their work tasks home, the important thing is to ensure you remain productive. Unlike the 9-to-5 routine of the physical work environment, your home is likely to come with a lot of distractions as you try to navigate around other family members and the fact you don't have a boss physically there to check in on you. It will be important to formulate a routine that will allow you to complete the work that is required of you. Try creating a things to do list and put a timestamp on it. For example, between 9 a.m. and noon is when you will complete that report your manager has asked for. This will work more effectively if it's shared with family members, not the details, but the timelines, so they know when not to disturb you. Depending on the type of business, working from home could require access to the company's network or the transfer of data. And this brings me to my third and final point. Companies will need to put infrastructures in place to ensure their employees can access all the information and resources needed to maintain productivity in the home spaces. This may involve providing laptops with required software for connectivity. Employers will also need to institute an accountability system to check in with workers to ensure they are actually performing.
We are trying to put in place the measures, bearing in mind that it is not the intention of the government to shut down the economy. What we are trying to do is to institute the measures that we believe will inure to greater practice of social distancing, which is what is now being recommended as the most effective way of controlling the spread of COVID-19.
Practice good hygiene by washing your hands frequently using soap and water. Here's how you should do it while conserving water. Turn on the tap to wet your hands, then turn off the pipe. Lather your hands and the tap with soap. Turn on the tap and wash your hands, back, front, and in between fingers. Use some of the water to wash off the tap, then turn it off. Dry your hands with disposable hand towels. If you don't have running water, use a hand rub containing 62% or more alcohol. If hand sanitizers are not available, rubbing alcohol, Dettol, white rum, or household bleach will do the trick. And if all else fails, let hand washing and the handling of potable water be a two-person event. Each person will take turns pouring and washing hands with sitting water. Now is a good time to consider installing a tap on your containers to reduce the risk of water contamination. Faucets can be easily attached to drums, buckets, or 5-gallon water bottles. And to ensure that the outside of the containers are clean when recapping, disinfect it with hand rub containing alcohol that's 62% or more. The 5 R's of water conservation are also necessary to practice. Reduce water wastage by investing in water-saving devices. Reuse water at least twice before discarding. Replace leaking pipes, faucets, and other plumbing equipment. Recycle wastewater and use it for gardening, car washing, or cleaning of public spaces. And reclaim water through rainwater harvesting. We all must play our part to ensure there's water to combat the coronavirus and stave off prolonged drought.
They say the more things change, the more they remain the same. Amidst the COVID-19 outbreak, things are changing, but they're still moving to this constant and familiar tune. Take, for example, children being out of school, change. Government providing the curriculum and tools to facilitate learning, same. Our next feature outlines exactly how the Ministry of Education is achieving this.
As part of efforts to ensure there is no wide-scale spread of COVID-19 in Jamaica, government announced an initial 14-day closure of schools, which began on Friday, March 13. The classrooms are now empty, but learning has not been abandoned.
We will be making provisions to enable online training or continued education online.
"180 teachers have been trained to deliver lessons to students through the web-based one-on-one communication learning management system. The Education Ministry has made resources available to students from kindergarten up to grade 13. A detailed list of online digital learning resources have been compiled and shared with all schools. The ministry has also partnered with several educational providers to deliver content for students at all levels of the education system. These include Book Fusion, Learning Hub, EduFocal, and Cheetah. The online platform Book Fusion Limited exposes children to a host of free ebooks. The website allows students to read ebooks on the primary exit profile PEP, biographies, history, literature, and math, just to name a few. The Learning Hub Online is a Caribbean-based online test preparation website. It offers tests on all subjects pursued by students in grades 1 to 13. It also has hundreds of interactive PEP, G6NAT, CSEC, and CAPE test materials for each subject offered. EduFocal is another partner of the Education Ministry. The innovative social learning platform combines study with play. While students are at home, The platform is offering free virtual lessons led by PEP master teachers. Study guides, tutorial videos, questions and answers, and examinations are also offered on the site. Cheetah, or Connect to Higher Education Electronic Tools, Apps and Help, is offering free PEP workbooks to students in math, science, ability, and language arts. The small corporation also creates unique educational resources for the pre-primary and primary levels, which include tablets, apps, toys, headphones, tablet accessories, and books. Outside of these partnerships, steps are being taken to liaise with other private and public sector stakeholders.
We have been in contact with Flow, and Flow will also be making internet availability readily accessible to persons on our platform so that they can continue with their education.
The ministry is also in partnership with the Public Broadcasting Corporation of Jamaica, PBCJ, and RJR Gleaner to deliver live and recorded educational content to students at all levels of the education system. The programs will air on PBCJ Mondays to Fridays from 7:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. with rebroadcasts on the weekends. On TVJ, it's Mondays to Fridays, 9 a.m. to midday.
25 community channels have also been brought into play, and the children now have gotten so accustomed to that kind of interaction with their teachers and with the educational system that it's going to be challenging when we have to return to the classroom, because they're doing very, very well. We have a 70% coverage across the island, and the other 30% where we don't have access to cable and to internet services, we do it physically, manually.
To properly carry out a hand rub, apply a palmful of the product in your cupped hand, covering all surfaces. Rub your hands palm to palm. Rub your right palm over the back of your left hand with interlaced fingers and vice versa. Rub your hands palm to palm with fingers interlaced. Rub the back of your fingers to opposing palms with fingers interlocked. Rotationally rub backwards and forwards the clasped fingers of your right hand in your left palm and vice versa. Once your hands are dry, they are now safe.
One thing that has emerged through children being out of school and social distancing keeping more parents at home is greater time spent together. If some social media posts are to be believed, this has been a real eye-opener for many parents who are finding it just a little challenging to cope. Well, Jamaica Magazine has you covered.
Parenting can be very frustrating, and a lot of times people don't feel like they really have an answer to everything, and the truth is that that is the reality. But there are different things that people can try. We're not saying that any one thing works for everybody or that you'll even get the outcome that you want immediately. Especially when you're dealing with young children, you might have to try something several times before you see a particular result. So for example, if it is that you want a child to learn the difference between right and wrong, a lot of times in the past we use pain to teach that this is wrong, right? But we find that ultimately when you hit a child, what you're teaching them to do is, when I don't like something, I should hit and I should lash out. What you want to try in a situation like that, you can try removing privileges. If there are things that the child might love to do, or even the age-old timeout, where you say, listen, for this period, you have to sit by yourself, there's no communication, there's no talking, sit down and be still. Sometimes you have to physically just hold your child and help them to breathe through it, because you have some children where they have so much emotion and so much anger and they want to get it out, that it's really difficult for them to regulate it at such a young age. And so you have to physically hold them, put your hand on them, help them to breathe through it until they're calm. And with children, even if they don't understand necessarily the big concept of right and wrong, they can sometimes understand tone, right? And tone is not the same thing as lashing out and using certain words and calling them different names. Tone is being firm and saying, I do not want you on this. So for example, if a child keeps going off on something, you might have to take them off it 10 times, right? And continue to reinforce with the same tone and consistency that you do not want them on this. And also for younger children, sometimes you have to be the one to remove whatever it is that you don't want them to interact with from the environment, right? Because they're so young and so impulsive, you can't necessarily leave it to them to understand I shouldn't touch this thing, right? So that's how we deal with the younger children. It's a little harder in some ways, and in other ways it's a little easier because they do understand the difference between right and wrong. It's clearer what are some of the things that they love, and you can remove those things. But one of the things that's really important with teenagers is really to take the time to make sure that they understand that their feelings and their opinions are valued. So in the moment, yes, I'm removing these things, but I'm also having a conversation with you about why you won't have access to these things for a particular period, right? We're explaining why this thing might be dangerous to you, whether or not you agree with it. I am the parent, right? This is where I am coming from. It really requires a conversation because ultimately what you want to teach them to do, is to reason and to think, right? You don't want to just be disciplining and you're not helping them to think through it and to use proper judgment and reasoning skills. And so those are some of the things that you can try.
If the child becomes stubborn, the child is more obstinate, and the child has a fixed mindset, if you will, that this is what he or she is going to continue to do, then you might need professional help. You might need to call the commission, or you might need to call a social worker or a guidance counselor to help for you, because sometimes parents don't have the language either to even explain why this behavior is wrong. And that causes friction. Once the friction starts, then we recommend that you get a third party involved because it could become worse.
One aspect of the fight to contain the spread of COVID-19 in Jamaica is sanitation. That's not just the hand washing you should be doing constantly or the wiping down of surfaces in your home with sanitizing products. It's preventing the pileup of garbage generated in our homes, workplaces, and on the street. It's why even as you sleep at night, the NSWMA's workers are up, making their contribution to this global fight. Here's a closer look at what they've been up to.
Once upon a time, in a land far away from a fairy tale, were a people who lived the way you and I do, but a little differently. Much like the shoemaker and the elves, these street fairies don't leave beautiful pairs of shoes behind, but their art shares some similarities, and it's nonetheless worthy of recognition.
Good night, Dana Anderson, shovel user, shovel and jump, clean up Jamaica.
I'm working in the company 8 years now. I like the job, keep the place tidy and clean.
They always say to me, say, this is not a woman's work, but a woman has to do what a woman has to do, eh? You have to work for yours, eh? Nobody ain't gonna give you nothing, so you have to work for it.
Yeah, enough of the woman they work hard and plenty of the man them. I get used to my work still, so I don't feel no different from the man them. At the end of the day, I will bread where I work for. So any work for woman. Woman the man work nowadays.
I'm all right with my work. Yeah, I can provide for myself, my nephew, my niece, my child. She don't really like me day out here, she rather me day with she, but I have to make ends meet. I have to work, I have to pay my bills them. But they don't give me nothing, I have to work my own. But people that see me and want to style me and this, because I try to chuck work me do and them thing there. But I don't really watch my face. Because I know, say, when my money enough, you see me?
I want to burn fire upon this whole foolishness that people talk from time to time about. If they don't litter, people don't get work.
Yeah, that's what them say some my time. But them can do better still. Plenty of them can do better still.
Enough of them like we, enough don't like we, because sometimes we have to do with all the truck like all that, so now them not say, we move from there, say we don't thinking truck and them things, but we don't care about that. That's our work. When you litter, you waste the resource of your country. You make life more difficult for yourself and your fellow men. And you destroy the aesthetic, the beauty of our country that we boast about so much.
We are cleaning up Jamaica. And without cleaning up not Jamaica, wiper, disease and germs are broke out. So everybody who work with solid waste, important people them. All are important.
Differently from the sweeper them, we don't like the garbage bag up and we go through it more easier for it. More time we come out and have to wait on the sweeper them like on the just seat right now. We have to wait till the street sweep up, but if it's bag up, it's more easier for it. Just the fact that you are generating solid waste, I ask you to just take some time to package it properly so that it gives us more ease of cleaning. And it also helps the side men, side women. They are human beings too. Their job is already very difficult. Don't make it more difficult for them by giving them extra work to do. It is very tough on them. The job is difficult. You know, it's not just about lifting things put in a truck, but some of the things they encounter out here. Bags with human feces. That's common occurrence, especially in the market district. The smell of urine is everywhere and it's in the solid waste that they're picking up. All sorts of meat cuttings, fish bone, fish back, fish gut. Just about anything that people don't want. And they have to pick it up. They have to face it. A certain time at the night, when we reach certain hours at the night, like 3:30, 4 o'clock, gunman can all strike and we have to run left the garbage some of the time and all them things then. And come back around and take it up, see, because we cannot leave it. See me? We cannot leave it. And we don't like them keep Jamaica beauty and clean.
Well, I stay out of them way, and I'm not really go for them though, I still think them at me. I just stay by myself, each time I look a corner.
And yet, despite the tough nature of the job, these people show up not just for work, but they show up and work.
We're backbone of the company, you know. Who clean the rubbish and my backbone, we're the most important people in the company. How we clean up the work, enough mess and good rubbish, bad rubbish, all different kind of rubbish.
I believe deep in my heart that if you talk about heroes and heroines, our sidemen and sidewomen are right up there with any because of the human service that they provide and in very tough circumstances to keep Jamaica clean. Day after day, night after night, they are out and about, they roll up the sleeve, and notwithstanding all that they have to face, their head is down and they are going relentlessly in pursuit of that clean Jamaica. I laud them. I lift my hat to them. They are good people. I just hope that more and more people will see them for who they are. People who are there to safeguard the health of the nation. They are the NSWNA. Without them, we are nothing.
Yeah, I love my work. I love it. I love clean the shovel. I really get me use a night time.
And as sunbeams break the night sky and the stars and moon bid their goodbye, the city smiles.
An important message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness. What to do if you think you have been exposed or are experiencing signs and symptoms of COVID-19. Immediately call 888-1-LOVE. That's 888-663-5683. In addition, you should stay at home. Don't go to work, school, or any public place. Do not use public transport and avoid visitors to your home. You may need to do this for up to 14 days to reduce the spread of the infection. A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
How can we assist people who are blind and visually impaired during this novel coronavirus COVID-19 period? There are simple ways to help them navigate our streets and sidewalks, but many people are worried about social distancing. Not to worry, you can simply guide them with the sound of your voice, walking beside or in front of them. Let your voice be the helping hand you give them. For information on how to assist persons with disabilities, contact the Jamaica Council for Persons with Disabilities at 876-926-9376 or 876-618-1133. Remember to look out for the blind and visually impaired, not only today, but every day.
With COVID-19 being the hot topic on all our minds, it's probably not escaped your notice that experts are reporting that its impact is greatest on those who suffer from chronic, non-communicable diseases or NCDs. These include diabetes, hypertension, heart disease, and some types of cancers. Well, if you fall into any of those, here are 6 actions recommended by the World Health Organization. Number 1. Take your medicine and follow the medical advice of your healthcare provider. Number 2. Secure 1 month or more worth of medical supplies if you can. Number 3. Keep your distance from those already impacted by COVID-19 or anyone experiencing flu-like symptoms. Number 4. Wash your hands often. Number 5. If you smoke or drink, now is a good time to quit. And number 6. Protect your mental health. Remember, we're looking out for everyone, we're fighting to recover because we want Jamaica to become the place of choice to live, work, raise families, and do business. One more edition of Jamaica Magazine is about to end, but this end is only to create a start to a new tomorrow, a tomorrow which you can fill with hope and possibilities. The details of today's show would have helped to engender some of that hope, but if you missed out on any of it, you can see it all again on our YouTube channel. And be sure to visit the JIS website, and don't forget to keep up with us on our Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter pages. From all of us here at the JIS, have a great day. I'm Theodore Henry. See you tomorrow.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.